The material learnt in class was definitely transferable to the hands-on experience digging on the archaeological site. The professor also incorporated a reflective component. In the final major essay, we were able to include our experiences from the site and also what we learned through the course, plus additional research. So he kept the topic quite open, so we were able to integrate our personal learning experiences in addition to what was learned in the course.
There might be some chances or like some situations where you might not know what you're doing, but I think the important thing is to be totally transparent so that you don't get into trouble later on, and you're just like, you're open from the start on. You're there to learn, so you take it as a learning situation. You're not expected to know everything.
Looking back at the experience, there was a lot of content that you learn in the classroom, a lot of theoretical work that overlapped with what we were doing in the placement. We were discussing the different ways that we could improve the online image of the organization, and sitting in, I was like, oh, I know exactly how to contribute to this, because it was something that we covered in class multiple times. We read different articles about increasing social presence, social media presence, as well as the positives and negatives of blogging. So that was one of the times that the things that I was actually reading about became translated to real life work experience.
Donc c'est très bénéfique de pouvoir apprendre des concepts théoriques et puis d'avoir accès à un expert sur des domaines variés, sur ces choses-là, mais ça demeure quand même un savoir un peu plus théorique, évidemment, parce qu'on ne l'a pas mis en pratique, on ne l'a pas exécuté, ce savoir. De mon stage en Ouganda, ça m'a permis finalement de comprendre ces concepts, de les consolider, de sorte à ce que maintenant je suis un candidat beaucoup plus fort dans ces domaines-là. Et puis je comprends ce que j'ai appris en classe.
Something that I didn't quite understand when it was during lectures, but it was made more tangible on the archaeological site, was the stratigraphical layers. So while in principle it makes sense, some of the descriptions by theorists kind of were vague, and it seemed quite difficult to actually differentiate between the layers. So when we actually had the hands-on experience, digging and seeing the various textures of the soil, dirt, that made it more tangible.
Mais quand tu travailles pour une organisation et tu as des clients, c'est complètement différent parce que c'est pas seulement mon petit projet, c'est mon chose, c'est je travaille pour un client qui dépend pour moi de faire un bon travail.
The course was theoretical but also very practical in explaining that development is hard. That's one of the main points that I got out of the course. It's actually very hard to implement in an effective way. And so when I was finally in Uganda, I realized that this course was, that was a true statement, you know?
So it was actually quite incredible. It was really exciting to actually find some artifacts, like you're touching antiquity, right? Something from over 1,000 years old. So to find a coin with a specific engraving that we only heard about in class, to actually seeing it and feeling it, holding it in our hands, that was truly incredible.